Hello dear students, welcome you all to the next lecture of the JCE Connect series of online lectures. In today's lecture, we will be continuing with module 4, which is design of slabs. In today's class, we will be discussing a design example for simply supported two-way slab with corners free to lift. So here you have to note down that it is a simply supported slab with corners free to lift. It means that there will be no requirement of torsional reinforcement. In the further classes, we will discuss the examples which will be having the requirement of torsional reinforcement. But presently, we will be dealing with the design example of a simply supported two-way slab with corners free to lift. So let us start with the example. The example reads as: design a simply supported slab for a panel of size 3 meter by 4 meter supported by 230 mm thick wall. Use M20 grade of concrete and Fe415 steel. The slab supports a superimposed load of 4 kN per meter square and a floor finish of 1 kN per meter square. The corners are free to lift. So the most important thing in the example is to understand what are the end conditions given. Here it's a simply supported slab and the end conditions given are the corners are free to lift. So let's start with noting down the given data. Lx, which is the shorter span always, is 3 meters. Ly, which is the longer span, is 4 meters. The support width is 230 mm. If by chance the support width is not mentioned, you can assume a suitable support width. Then grade of concrete is M20, that is FCK value is 20, and we have a steel of 415 grade, that is Fy is equal to 415. The imposed load, now see here, they have not given separately the live load and dead load. Both together are combined and given as imposed load, which is 4 kN per meter square. And the floor finish is 1 kN per meter square. So firstly, let us check whether it's a one-way slab or a two-way slab. We get that by checking the ratio of the longer span to the shorter span, that is Ly by Lx. So here Ly by Lx is 4 divided by 3, which is 1.33 less than 2. Hence we conclude that we have to design it as a two-way slab. So next, the step is fixing up of dimensions. Again, as you all know, the reference for fixing up of the depth is there in IS 456 clause number 23.2.1. From there, using the reference, page number 37, for simply supported slabs, Lx by D is equal to 20. Therefore, D is equal to Lx by 20, where Lx is the shorter span. This will remain the same always for all the slabs, let it be one way or two way. The effective depth will be fixed with respect to the shorter span only. Don't take the longer span here, otherwise your depth will be too high and your entire design example will be wrong. So practically, let us adopt, say D is equal to Lx by 25, that is 3000 divided by 25, which comes out to be 120 mm. So again the effective cover, which let us assume as 20 mm, anything from 15 to 25 you can assume suitably. The references for this are discussed in the live class. So the total depth will be 140 mm. This is how we fix the depth of the two-way slab. The step is similar or same as that we have done in the one-way slab design. So next is effective span. Again, this step is same, but the most important change which occurs here is we get effective spans Lx effective by referring IS 456, the same reference which we had taken previously. Effective span is the least of. So firstly we are finding effective span for the shorter direction, that is Lx. Now remember, here we are designing two-way slab. We have already discussed how the behavior of the two-way slab is. Here bending will take place in both the direction, hence we require to find the effective span along both the directions. So firstly, along the shorter span, clear span plus d, or center to center distance between the support. So from this the least is 3.12, which is the effective span in x direction. Similarly for long span, that is the longer span is 4 meter span. Again clear span plus effective depth or center to center distance. From this we get effective length along the shorter span as 4.12 meter. So this is one change which we have to note down. In case of one-way slab, only we used to find effective length along the shorter span itself, as bending there was along the shorter span only. So moving further, we will find here the ratio of effective span, which is termed as small r, which will be requiring later when we calculate the shear force. Okay, effective length ratio Ly effective upon Lx effective. Okay, this is effective length ratio. Sorry, I missed the term ratio there, but while making the notes, it is the effective length ratio denoted by small r. So we get that value as 1.32. So next, step 2 is the load calculation. Again here we have to consider a strip of 1 meter width, that is B is equal to 1 meter or 1000 mm. Again this is a common point which we have discussed already in the previous class while solving the one-way slab. So first is the self weight, that is total depth into density of RCC into 1 meter, which comes out to be 3.5 kilonewton per meter. Floor finish is given as 1 multiplied by 1 is equal to 1 kilonewton per meter. Third one is the imposed load, which is 4 multiplied by 1, as we are considering 1 meter width. Okay, standard calculations we are doing for a width of 1 meter. So we get the imposed load as 4 kilonewton per meter. Therefore, we get the total load by adding all the three parameters as 8.5 kilonewton per meter. Therefore, factored load WU is equal to 1.5 into 8.5, which comes out to be 12.75 kilonewton per meter. So again, this step is same as we have done it in case of a one-way slab design. So next step, which is the calculation of bending moment. From there the effect of two-way slab comes into picture. So let us follow those steps. So design bending moment calculation. For this we will be referring page number 91 of IS 456-2000. Moments per unit width are given by. So here we are not using the formula. This is one common mistake which maximum students make during the examination. They use the formula WL square by 8 here. No, those formulas are not required here, as this is a two-way slab design. The code book has given the formula for simply supported slab with corners free to lift. Mx is equal to alpha x WLx square, that is Lx effective square, and My is equal to alpha y into WLx square. Okay, so see here, the more important thing to be considered here is in both cases it is Lx. Okay, this is Lx means Lx effective. Okay, this is the effective length which we have found out. Square of it, both way we have to use the shorter span only. Only the alpha x and alpha y are the coefficients which are changing. W will remain the same, that is the factored load WU. This is the exact we are taken from code book, so our notations vary a bit. So W and Lx will remain same in both the equations. What will change is alpha x and alpha y depending upon the end conditions. So here the end condition is simply supported and corners free to lift. Now for this particular end condition we have to refer table number 27. Okay, we have to refer table number 27 for this particular condition, that is simply supported at all the four sides with corners free to lift. Okay, so when we refer the table number 27, we will be obtaining the values of alpha x and alpha y. So now this is your table number 27, which is there on page number 91 of IS 456 2000. It gives the bending moment coefficients for slab spanning in two directions, that is means two-way slab. Right angles simply supported means all the ends are simply supported on all the four sides. Okay, so this we have to use when corners are free to lift. Okay, that is all the ends are simply supported and corners are free to lift. This table we have to refer. Please make a note of it. Now here in the first row we have Ly by Lx. This is the effective ratio. Again I am repeating, Ly effective divided by Lx effective. We have the ratios given 1.1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 and so on. And for those corresponding ratios we have alpha x and alpha y values which are given to us. So now we have to check where our Ly by Lx lies. In between that we have to select the suitable value for alpha x and alpha y by interpolation. So if we go ahead, this is the reference, page number 91. So now firstly we need to find alpha x. Okay, so our Ly by Lx effective ratio is 1.32, which we have calculated. It is nothing but small r. Okay, 1.32. So it lies between 1.3 and 1.4. So corresponding to 1.3, what is the value? 0.093. Okay, what is the value of alpha x? 0.093 from the table. And corresponding to 1.4, what is the value? 0.099. Sorry, here I have made a mistake. It's 0.099. By mistake I have taken 0.094. Please excuse me, but refer the table properly and do the interpolation correctly when you are solving. So similarly we will find alpha y with respect to the ratios Ly by Lx. Okay, taking the values 0.055 and 0.051. Please change this 0.094 to 0.099. Okay, as it is corresponding to 1.4. So now we need to find the ratio for 1.32, which is our Ly by Lx. Corresponding values of alpha x and alpha y we need to find. So by interpolation we get alpha x as 0.0942. Now see here, it will be very close to 0.093 as the value is just ahead by 0.02. Okay, 1.3 and 1.32. So your answer will be very close to 0.093. So we have got 0.0942. Then in case of alpha y, similarly we have got by interpolation 0.0542. Now these interpolation steps you should be perfect by this time, because already we have done these steps extensively in your shear calculation. So with these two alpha x and alpha y values, we can go ahead and find the bending moment. So firstly, check for minimum depth. In this we will find the bending moment first, that is mu x and mu y. The alpha x and alpha y values which we have got in the previous slide are to be used here. Substitute alpha x into WL effective square. Again in both cases we are using Lx only. This formula, don't make a mistake, it is given in the code book clearly. So substituting the values, what we are getting? We are getting mu x, that is bending moment along the shorter span, and mu y, bending moment along the longer span. Now one more important thing here which you have to concentrate on is always the bending moment along the shorter span will be less. Okay, bending moment along the shorter span will be less. You will not get a higher value of MUY. Bending is majorly dominant along the shorter span. Okay, so if you make a mistake here, you can get it here itself. Don't simply go on calculating with MUY the higher value. If you replace here LX effective by LY, it is sure that you will get an higher value here because LY is greater than LX. So that will happen. So be careful, both places LX effective only has to be used. So going further, we'll do the check for depth required. So for your Fe415 grade of steel, when we do the depth check required, we get D required as 65 mm, whereas we have provided a D of 120 mm. So as the D provided is greater than the required,